Hello everybody, bienvenido a todo. Welcome back to Valbrut. It's been a while, quite a long time actually since I last did a video. And this may well be one of my last videos in TSW2 because TSW3 is upon us in a couple of days time. And that means basically if the launch goes smoothly and all the routes are available when they say they'll be, there won't really be much reason to play TSW2 unless you want to get all the achievements. So I'm gonna, because it's Castle Würzburg, I think, that I'm most looking forward to. I know it's the one I'm most looking forward to, but I don't know if I'm saying it right. So I'm gonna do a run on a high speed, the Munich Augsburg line, because it's LZB, so it's kind of what we'll have to expect from that. Not exactly by any means. Oh look, there's Train Sim Mod 3 and the IC1, which will be greeting us when Train Sim Mod 3 comes out. And it's also the longest route as well. So this route is more of a traditional TSW2 high-speed route, so it's mixed traffic. Speed's limited to 230, I think. Right, here we go. Right, so what do I need to do first? I need to put the pantograph up. Need to turn on my circuit breaker. I need to turn on the train lights for sure. Then I can open the doors. Oh, I can close this. Make sure I got my AFB. Oop. Right. AFB. Then, right. I've got my mouse in the wrong screen. There we go. There we go. Vi sol fregabe. There we go. I don't know any pronunciation of German, so yeah, I'm probably saying everything wrong. Right, there we go. LZB, PZB, that's what I can say. Right, so I'm not going to put CIFA on. I honestly, I'm not being paid for this. I'm not going to put myself through the torture of it. There we go. I shall put the headlights on bright, I think, because we are going on a high speed line, and I set the weather to clear, I think. So yeah, there's nothing apart from these lovely clouds. Lovely though they are, not quite as lovely as the ones we're going to be getting in TSW3, which are volumetric and therefore much snazzier and nicer. There we go. Oh, sounds lovely, doesn't it? Right, so I am just about ready. Let me set my AFB to 40 because we do have a little bit of PZB action. It's just a little bit to keep us under 40 whilst we're going over the points. And then we're basically, as soon as it finishes, we go on to the LZB and it's plain sailing until Munich. Right, 3 seconds to go. I will get the power up and going now. Off we go. There we go. Flashy, flashy. So I am going to talk about like TSW3 a bit more and my excitement for it, and what I think it might bring us over TSW2, and I'll try and keep my camera movements smooth. And well, I'm playing on a new computer, that's why my level is so low. And I'll go into a bit of detail about that, but I'll wait till I'm on LZB, because once I'm on LZB it doesn't really matter. I just need to pay attention to what's in front of me, just in case, you know, something happens. I did turn it on. I definitely did. Right, so here we are leaving Augsburg. Let's see what it looks like in our... Oh, look, there we go. Bye-bye. Right. There we go. Nothing to consider here, I don't think. No, there's a couple of S-Bahn services you might overtake. Yeah, Regional Express, I guess that is. Yeah, nothing we haven't seen before. Okay, we're not under the restriction anymore, so I can put us up to 90, and I think as we go around this corner, we'll pick up the LZB. It's somewhere like here. I think it's this station even, maybe, or just after it. I mean, I do like this route, and I appreciate it a lot more once I got a PS5, and now I have a PC, because I got all the layers. So that makes a difference. On PS4, when it first came out, it was a bit meh, because it felt empty. But now it feels a bit more alive. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nothing compared to like London commuter. Certainly not. Nothing's like that. Maybe Southeastern High Speed new timetable will be, because they've hinted, they haven't given the exact number of services, but they've hinted it's somewhere high. Alright, I can set this to 2:30 now, can't I? Right, there we go. Nice. Well, now the train is taking the strain officially. So, I will go back to what I was saying, which was... What was it? Was I saying this was my favourite route, or was I talking about the train? Oh, it's talking about timetable. Yeah. So the 3 new routes, Southeastern High Speed probably will have the busiest timetable. Castle Würzburg might have a more samey, but potentially more interesting in terms of the how the dispatcher is set up to deal with the schedule which has been created. So Castle Würzburg is a dedicated high-speed line, which means usually it's just these kind of trains, and I believe one of these and a IC3 will be on it, a BR403. I think it'll be this one. I don't think it would be the international one, but maybe. And there'll also be the IC1, so they'll be doing most of the services, but freight does come out to play, because it at night mostly they make use of it as a big trunk route that can get freight up and down the country, and we all know that Deutsche Bahn love their freight. We might see some freight trains here actually on this line. I specifically picked a morning route because I wanted to be driving into the sun, because it means we get to see the train looking like this. Gorgeous, ain't it? Now, what I'll say first of all about my spec and my setup and what performance we get in. This is, I believe I've got some mods installed, but none that I think would affect this route. I haven't got any engine.ini file mods. The only mods I think I have are maybe a couple for Hamburg, Lübeck, for the 112. Which actually the 112 layers in here, or like substitutes in here, so maybe. But otherwise, there's nothing I don't think that would affect this. And I've got like one for graffiti on the BR465 on Southeastern High Speed, and then maybe some little ones to enable a certain type of weather. Maybe I can't remember which ones it was. It was a handful, and it was nothing to do with the engine settings either. So this is basically the base game with a couple of mods installed, and I think I've got the frame rate limited to 50. Yep, 50. I only chose 50 because I was like, I don't want to be a 60 frames per second snap, so I was like 50 will do then. And oh, doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. 50 is closer to 60 than 30 is, so I mean 30 was what I was going to limit it to, but I think this PC can do a bit more. So this is my new, I mean I'll call it a gaming PC because it does have a graphics card, it's a dedicated graphics card, so obviously it's designed for gaming, but it's like a pre-built mini PC. It's a HP Pavilion. They're just going out of sale now because they've replaced the Pavilion brand with the Victus brand, which is their new sort of budget gaming brand from HP. This one's kind of budget, but it came with a good graphics card, so I was kind of like, it was in a sale. It was ridiculously cheap for what it is. I mean, it's definitely the sum of its parts are worth more than I paid for it, for sure. But the graphics card is an RTX 3060, 12 gigabytes VRAM. So that's not bad in and of itself. It's got a Ryzen 5 processor, which is a bit slower than the one on my laptop. I've got a 7 in my laptop, but it's the newer gen. As I was doing tests on my laptop, like before I bought this computer, because I was like, oh well, you know, my laptop is technically a little bit better CPU wise. I realized this game doesn't put that much stress on my CPU. It's mostly the GPU, and the GPU I had in my laptop was 1650, 4 gig VRAM. So yeah, not much compared to this. So I do think, let me check my settings. I think I've got everything on ultra, to be honest. I might have toned something down. Let's go to screen. Okay, I've got the screen percentage up to 130. I've got pretty much everything on. Advanced settings, everything's on ultra except shadow quality. I don't think I can even tell the difference in shadow quality. I mean, even if you have it on high, it still renders in the track, and most of the shadow is very close to the train, so it doesn't make much of a difference really. And I'm used to that now. So yeah, this wasn't my favorite route in TSW2, but I wanted a kind of quick route so I could not have to do like an hour and a half on Northern Transpennine, or an hour service on well, actually there wouldn't be an hour service. I don't want to do Southeastern High Speed because there'll be a new one on Friday, and I don't want to prepare myself for it. I want to come into it having forgotten bits of it and be pleasantly surprised. Similarly, I mean, I think probably one of my most played routes was Northern Transpennine or Great Western Express, but Great Western Express isn't really changing. All of those old TSW2 routes, with the exception of Spirit of Steam and the new version of Southeastern High Speed, obviously, all they're getting in TSW3 is dynamic weather. So they'll still have this sky, but it will change, and you'll get rain. If you turn it on, it will turn into rain and things like that. It's only the three new routes and Spirit of Steam that are going to get volumetric clouds. That, for me, is quite interesting because they look quite good. I've been surprised, I'll be honest. When they were doing the streams, I was really not expecting them to be quite as good as they were. But they look great, and in the image they released a little video and article today about the weather improvements, and it looks good. So that I'm excited for. And in the original stream for the Castle Würzburg route, they demoed the dynamic weather, and it was fantastic. From my point of view, it was absolutely brilliant to see it happening live. That you're driving in the sun and then it turns into rain. It was like perfection for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to TSW3, and I think this rig can handle it, because there's nothing graphically and things like that. It's mostly the same. I mean, they've redone the lighting, which I think looks a bit better than this. I hope they've tested it on like bog standard screens, because usually that makes a difference. If they're testing it on like a super high, oh, that's why I'm not going fast. If they've been testing it on like super high-end HDR 4K screens, the chances are when it gets down to our little 27-inch monitors, IPS panel screens, not going to look great. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's coming out Friday, early access on Steam, well, on all platforms. But on Steam, which is where I pre-ordered it, it will come like 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, I think, for me, because I live in Spain. It's about an hour. It's like I'm an hour ahead of the UK. Yeah, that should be about the time, which is fine, because that means I don't need to take the afternoon off work, which I probably would have done just because. But yeah, this way I can start downloading it as I finish work, and then walk the dog, and hopefully when I come back it'll be installed. So the dynamic weather and the lighting are the two big things that are changing in game, as far as I know. As far as they've said, dynamic weather, new skybox and cloud, volumetric clouds, the lighting, meaning that like when you go into and out of tunnels, it's a bit more gradual. They're implementing some new signaling systems, things like that they haven't done yet. Nothing revolutionary, but it's kind of like, you know, every iteration of TSW advances a little bit more, and I think that's kind of about as good as you can expect from this game. Certainly the developers, they're not ones for like reinventing the wheel, and I think like slow and steady for them is definitely the better way to deal with this game. What I would say is the training center looks mildly interesting. I'm interested to see how it will work. This preview stream didn't give away much because it didn't focus on training, it just focused on the route, which looked cool actually, and I can see myself going in there every now and again to have a look. And it was nice to see a bunch of trains all next to each other on a test track. It did look cool. But yeah, I mean, as a route, it's tiny. There's not much you can really do with it. How they make use of it for like training tutorials, that'd be interesting to see. And I see they've got embedded videos as well, which is cool to see. Because some of the videos on YouTube are difficult to find, so if they've got like a one-stop repository within the game for like, here's a tutorial on PZB on a hard line like main spec up on or something, then perfect. Perfect. So I was looking at the TNCs the other day because I wanted to figure out what comes on when. So none of the TSW stuff will be available for early access. None of the TSW2 stuff will be available for early access. Only Spirit of Steam, and only if you have the deluxe version. Everything else you'll have to wait till the 6th of September for, which is the official launch. And I mean, it's what, 4 days, it's not the end of the world. And obviously, I mean, you're not forced to uninstall TSW2 in the meantime if you really want to play. And yeah, apparently everything should be available on the 6th. There you go, should be perfect. But because I don't have Spirit of Steam on this computer, I was like, yeah, I'll buy it, the deluxe edition, because that way I get that. And it feels a bit like on PS5 when I got it. I wasn't wowed by it, and it hasn't sort of like blown me away at any point really. I've always found it to be a bit like, how's a delicate way of putting this? It's empty, it doesn't have traffic, it doesn't have anything going on. You see like 2 AI trains and that's it. It feels like a route from TSW 2020, basically. Very little going on. And I mean, it's fair enough because it's their first Steam route. They don't have any stock they could use. They just had to create the 2 locos that are very similar and use them. People complain a lot about the accuracy of TSW, so they couldn't really be using a Jubilee for some like local services and things like that. It would annoy people. And then probably because it's their first go at Steam train, it's probably full of less than perfect efficiency type. What am I trying to say? It's not as efficient as it could be, so it probably takes up more performance space on your computer than it really should. So, but just increasing the number of trains on the line would probably hit the frame rates hard. But it wasn't just that as well. Like, I can understand that, but the route itself it's very flat. It's a very gradual incline from Crewe up to, and there's like a steep incline outside of Edge Hill, not Edge Hill, Liverpool, Lime Street. But still, it doesn't. What's the word? Doesn't spark joy for me. So I didn't make a video on it. But with these volumetric clouds and it being included on PC, maybe there's a mod to like add something to it, like maybe just some more trackside bits and pieces would make it look a bit more alive. So if someone's done like a route break mod, maybe we'll see. I'm sure someone's done something to replace their posters. Oh, hello, fellow ICE. Bye, fellow ICE. Right, we're being brought down to 160 now, I think. Oh, no, we're at 200. But we will be brought down to 160 somewhere here. And at that point, on the LZB will start to end. So I'll need to be on my toes for that. I mean, this is like the perfect. Perfect is the wrong word. This is like a good length of route and speed for me. So like this is going to take, I think, maybe just over half an hour. And I think we've already done 15 minutes. What time is it? In the game. It's in the game. It's 8 o'clock. Oh, and we're stopping at Munich passing in. We've got about 15 minutes left. I hate stopping at Munich passing, even though it's easy because you don't really have to faff about too much with PZB coming into passing. Not quite as much as I think as you do when you come into Munich Central. Is it called Munich Central or just Munich Hauptbahnhof? But still, these things always. What you don't want is to trigger the PZB. I mean, it probably will. I probably will. I mean, I don't want to trigger the PZB, but I always say that, and then I do. Perfect. Oop, there we go. There we go. Right. We're coming to the end, so I'm gonna take off my throttle and let the train bring us down. And then when we actually pass off it, I'll restart the A and B. I can't remember if there's a sign for like end of LZB. I feel like there is. Well, there's someone screaming at me, but there we go. I know that's probably not the correct way to come off LZB, but it's the way that I've learned to do it in a way that means, because a lot of the time, I don't know if it's maybe a bug with the train, but I don't think it's, I've not seen anyone else mention it. When I come off LZB, I lose the ability to use the throttle, and I can't for the life of me remember, think what I've done. I mean, on this route, it's fine because you can kind of just sort of slowly, if you're on a non-stop, you can just glide in eventually to Munich, just getting progressively slower. It's quite funny. Alright, let's have a look. We've got 3 kilometers and then we got a 130 restriction, and oop, that is green, no need to worry. Oh, trains look so good. I mean, I'm very excited for the IC1 BR401. It is, I mean, it's a, I'm not going to use the word icon because that's overused. Everyone calls everything iconic now. But it's very emblematic of Germany's high-speed railways, particularly just because of that. It's kind of like a no-nonsense train design. It's very... Am I zoomed in? No, I'm not. It's very sort of no-nonsense, power car at each end, very kind of square but softened around the edges. I don't know why I pressed that then. I was like panicking, like, oh my god, I've got a speed restriction. Wait, I need to go below 130 and then back up to 130, otherwise it'll take its time to get to 130. And I think it's 130 all the way to Munich passing, and then we can decide. I can decide when to start bringing it down for the approach. That yellow is not for me. I'll wait till at the bottom of this and then I'll start. Yeah, actually. Let's see the FB can bring me down. Can you bring me down? Bring me down. This is fast to be coming into a platform. No! Oh, actually, I mean, it's a long platform, isn't it? Yeah, we're fine. And I don't have a red at the end, so I'm not going to get the magnet, am I? There we go. Oh, not bad. 30 seconds late though, aren't I? I'll probably be 40 by the time I stop. Oi.
Türen geöffnet.
Woof, 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 woof. There we go. Bottle. That's on that. Oh, and I'll put it up to 40, I think. Just in case we... Oh no, we're going straight ahead. Well, I'll keep it on 40 anyway, just in case something happens. And I kept us on the platform. Everything's fine. think I was like, what, 30 seconds late in the end? 40 seconds, something like that. Oh wait, it tells me right there. Yeah, probably about 40 seconds. I can live with that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Close, no! Damn it. Mistimed that. Mistimed that. Open. Mistimed that royally. And now look, I'm a minute late. At least. Probably give me a minute and 10 seconds. Oh well. Let's see if we can maintain this frame rate as we approach Munich. Because Munich is like probably the most... Maybe Dresden is a bit worse, or the same. But it's one of the most like memory intense parts of the game. Routes in the game. Because I mean, look, you've got, I mean, even here, we're not even near Munich yet. And this is already a sign of what's to come. All of these poles holding up the catenary. The signals. I mean, when you get to Munich, it's just a sea of red signals on the ground. Not to mention you got all these buildings along the side. It's fascinating, really fascinating. It's like a huge station actually. Munich is, and when you go, it does feel like just a huge shed of a station, like really huge. Kind of like. There's not really anything like it in the UK. There's no big terminus station that's modern, that has a kind of shed quality like that. Maybe the lead station that exists in the Northern Transpennine route here is a bit like it maybe, but not really. And as I've said probably in the other streams I've done of this route, I have been to Munich. I've been on this railway line. And on the S-Bahn. I don't remember much of Munich city centre. I think it was quite extensively redeveloped after the war, but I do remember we went on a tour of castles in the local area that were really cool, really nice. So I can say that I definitely have not been to Kassel or Würzburg, so I won't be able to tell you what they are, and certainly not Fulda. Yeah, I won't be able to say anything about that. I don't think I've been on that line either. I know that where did I go from? Where did I go to? No, it wouldn't. It's south of Frankfurt, so no, I wouldn't have been on that line when I went to Hamburg. At least I don't think I would have. I'm gonna have to look at a map. Okay, yeah, we're getting really hit with our frame rates now as we approach Munich. Going to get really hit with their restrictions, so I'm going to start bringing us down now. Oh wait, no, I don't need to. No, I don't need to. But I do need to be sure that I'm... No, not that one. I'm like, at some point I'm going to get told. Okay, it's the next one, I think. Must be this one, yeah. This one coming up. It's in yellow. Oh yeah, so that must be the one that's telling me slow down. And it's going to give me the magnet of doom. But I've already prepped, haven't I? Eh? There we go. Got a bread. We're back up over 30. This is like the opposite of London Commuter, where London Commuter like kills your frame rates because there are so many trains constantly. This one doesn't have trains, but it kills your frame rates because there's just so much going on. Ah, I beat you, little 500 hertz, didn't I? Ha! I think that's a 25 miles an hour, isn't it? So I'm 25 kilometers an hour, so I'm under, significantly under. Now I remember this. I don't know if it's this route in particular that I always do, this timetable service, or if it's the timetable is set up to be very repetitive. But occasionally, whenever you drive into Munich, or certainly the routes I remember, or the services I remember, you get held here waiting for a regional express to leave the platform. And it happens if you're late, if I remember, which I think I am. Yeah, there it comes. I think it's always... I don't know what would happen if you didn't have the... There we go. Well, we've got a Swedish 40 coming up as well, so that will dictate, I think. I'm trying to think what it's going to do if it's blocking me. It must be pulling across in front. Oh gosh, look, trains galore. I mean, I say that, trains galore. It's not exactly, I mean, what, there's 2 there and 1 coming. It's not exactly Piccadilly Circus, is it? But back in the day, when TSW2 just launched, this was like magic. And that launch stream was amazing. And then finding out layers didn't come to PlayStation 4 was like, having to wait. Nearly a year until it was all done. Like, once the PS5 version had come out. Oh, I hardly think you can keep me waiting. That train is well and truly out of my way now. Oh, there's an IC over there. Maybe that's it. Right, let's keep it to 40. Oh no, I should keep it on 20 for the moment. Let's go. Where is that IC going? Is that leaving? Or is it going into the sidings? What's that telling us? That's 40. I prefer it when trains have a screen that tells you what it means. Like, some of them have a full-on... I know I should be looking at the signals, but I'm like nosy. I want to know where that's going. Okay, right, yeah, it's just parking up. So I'm going to stay at 40, I think, and then just saunter in. I mean, I've got 30 seconds in a kilometre to go. It's going to, and I'm not getting any faster than 40, so it is what it is. What can I say? Oh no, I've got a 30 restriction as well. Ugh. Oh gosh, look at us moving across all of these switches. Go on then, I'll take my time. That's a nice view, isn't it? All of those reds. Might take that. Oh, wait, no, number one. Ooh, lovely. Look at those bogies move. You know what, I won't mind. I will be very looking forward to taking the IC1 onto this route in the scenario planner. Interested to see what it'll look like on a TSW2 route, as they mentioned that the lighting means that they have to employ a solution that changes it so it might not look exactly the same, but we'll see. All of this is to come on Friday. if it launches properly. Which, you know, there's a 50-50 chance, you know, with this game or the next incarnation. The launches never go particularly well. I do remember TSW2 when it launched, there was supposed to be like a player discount for anyone who owned the previous game, and it took like hours until it went live on the store. And then I think people were confused about what had come with the game, because they were expecting like all that TSW 2020 content, but it took like 3 months to like port it all over. And then with last year, the Rush Hour one, oh my god, like everything that could have gone wrong for PlayStation did go wrong. On PC it was smoother running, but a lot of the routes kind of developed bugs and they never really recovered. And of course the Rush Hour routes themselves, like I think Boston was the only one that launched like with a fairly impressive timetable, and the Rush Hour passengers. Dresden had the passengers, but the timetable was very kind of, it didn't look very Rush Hour-y. When you couldn't just find one part of that route where you could stand. Don't hit the buffers, don't hit the buffers, don't hit the buffers. Oh, oh, that was close. That was close. That was close. Okay, well, I mean, I was just testing my stopping skills, right? Right? It wasn't because I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, Dresden didn't really have the range. It didn't have the volume of services in any one point. So even though the whole route as a whole had a lot going on, the timetable just wasn't planned out enough, that it concentrated enough in any areas. Whereas Boston Sprinter had that approach to Boston, where you could see trains coming and going. It was really cool. And then obviously London Commuter had the services, the definitive timetable of any route in Train Sim World, like genuinely beyond what we probably could have, I would have ever hoped for up until that point. And then, but it didn't really get the Rush Hour passengers. I think on PC it has them, but on console it doesn't. There we go. There we go. Finished. Perfect. Well, there we go. I think that's a gold star. Gold star? Yeah. Gold medal. Well, so that was our little our little light delve back into TSW3. Oh, look at it. Got me to level 5. So that was my little deep dive back into TSW2 to like, well, see what my new computer can do. Have a go on a route that's kind of like as close to the new German route as we're going to get, really. Like refamiliarize myself with LZB, well, make a new video so I can put it on YouTube in advance of TSW3, and just chat through general thoughts about TSW2, TSW3. I mean, there's not much you can say other than speculation. Based on what they've told us and the articles and the videos, I'm fairly excited. I think it's going to be, like I said, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're slow and steady evolution, but the routes look good. I mean, Cajon Pass isn't necessarily on top of my list, but I'm willing to give it a go. The Southeastern High Speed, I really, really want to see how that turns out, because it's one of those routes that, I mean, to me it makes more sense that they're extending that one. I know a lot of people would have been like, oh, well, what about Great Western Express? Nah, there just doesn't seem to be, there just didn't seem to be, aside from the fact people love the HST and stuff like that, didn't seem to be that many interesting extension opportunities really compared to Southeastern. Southeastern, you get like extra metro stops, so you know, you get the stopping services that are going to make good use of the 465, and potentially a future Thameslink DLC, and you get to run the 395 to like full speed down to Ashford, yeah. And even more so, you get to take the TGV, which will have a timetable service when the 6th of September comes around. You'll be able to take that down at full speed, full line speed. That will be interesting to see. So that brings a lot of variety, more so than I think you'd ever have gone with a without a full rebuild of GW Great Western Express, which is possible one day. I hope they do it in like a mid-90s pre-privatization intercity network southeast type style, but we'll see if that ever happens. I doubt it. We'll see what the reception is, even if they do. And people find anything to complain about with this game. So even though they've been petitioning for Great Western Express extension, or they'll complain if it gets done. So yeah, I think Southeast High Speed and Castle Würzburg are probably don't know if I prefer one or the other. Well, I can't say yet until I've actually played it, but I don't know if I'm excited for one more than the other. We'll see. Probably I'm going to play Castle Würzburg first, just because I want to see that IC1. But then the services are all going to be an hour, so it's going to be a struggle. Whereas I think it's 30 minutes or 40 minutes to go from St Pancras to Ashford. We'll see. I mean, yeah, certainly probably the video I make is going to be whatever's the shortest I can do. I wonder if there's any non-stop services that don't stop at Fulda that would be super fast, like 280 basically the whole way. Nah, there's not going to be. Wouldn't make sense on a line like that. Yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, like getting me, if you did indeed make it all the way through. How long has this video been? 41 minutes. That's, yeah, it's a lengthy video, but it's not the longest, and I'm sure all my TS3 videos are going to be longer. But anyway, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this. And yes, hasta luego, until next time, which will probably be TSW3 time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and potentially any future ones I do. And yes, goodbye. Have a good week, weekend, evening, day, morning, whatever it is. And I'm going to turn off the recording, which I have to do whilst I'm still on camera. Bye.